This is Talkin Rock. Talkin Rock. Your backstage pass to some of your favorite rock artists. Here's your host, Meltdown.
There is a lot of piss and vinegar on this episode of the Talkin Rock with Meltdown podcast. And by that, I mean a lot with Ted Nugent. It's funny. I'll be 100% honest. I know people 20, 30, 40 years younger than Ted that have half the energy that this guy has. 77 years old, going to be 78 this coming December, if I'm not mistaken, right? December, October, something like that. Anyways, I know it's coming up at the end of the year. And Ted, just a whirlwind of energy. Love talking to Ted. I do every chance I get. Sometimes he calls me at home. Says, Meltdown, what's going on? And that's a story for another time. But Ted's played a bunch of shows here in Michigan, and he talks about them. Where would he take somebody that came to Michigan for the first time? He's got some hot spots he would take them. We talk about guitar tone, some of his favorite guitar players and their tone, as well as some of the bands that he's played with and shared the stage with over his just decades-long career. That and much, much more with Ted. And then, to round out this episode, it's Kurt Deimer who's going to be opening up some of the shows for Ted. We'll talk about that coming up here in a few minutes. But first, it was funny because I was talking to Ted and he didn't, I took it for granted, I guess, that we weren't rolling yet. And then he started telling me all these great stories. And normally I do start the thing up early, but I didn't this time. And yeah, Ted kind of verbally lashed out at me. I guess that's to be expected and probably deserved.
Yeah, by the way, Meltdown.
Yeah.
You have.
All right.
Meltdown.
Yeah.
I am your real all-American soul music shit kicker blood brother from the Motown den of the Funk Brothers. And I bring you greetings and unlimited fire-breathing soul music in 2026 because you need my songs. You need my guitar tone. You need my band. You need my piss and vinegar. You need my energy. You need my spirit. And more than anything in 2026, happy 250th anniversary, Real America. I'm talking about Real America, not the slithering snakes that don't like it here that should slither out of here. But anyhow, I bring you a bumper crop of middle fingers in 2026. So I'm feeling so good I might squirt through the airways and stain the souls of all the real music lovers. And you're talking about Fred Bear. That is the definition of real music lovers, not only because it's just a great performance. Oh, my alarm's going off. That means I have to call you. But anyhow, not only is it a great performance by Gunnar Ross, God rest his soul, Michael Lutz, but what Fred Bear meant to me, like my mom, my dad, my brothers, my uncle, everybody's family, that song just doesn't represent the man Fred Bear. It represents all of our Fred Bears and the families who play the Fred Bear song. When their loved ones come home in a flag-draped coffin, the hundreds of stories I've received, how that represents, because my guitar playing comes from the soul and the scrotum, the most two important epicenters of quality of life in the history of the world, especially not just general souls and general scrotums, but my soul and my soul. I thought I might mention that. But yes, I hear these stories, and people stop Shemaine and I on the street all over the country. Of course, I don't go over the country, just Texas and Michigan, but I am doing Ohio and Indiana and Wisconsin and Minnesota. I'm playing Missouri. I'm going to I thought you weren't going to tour. I'm not touring. No bus for me. No TSA. No hotel rooms. I fly to the gay rock my flame-throwing T-Rex scrotum off, and then I come home to my dogs because they need me. My point being about Fred Bear, yes, I've heard these stories. And if I had any more confidence in my musical and spirit and patriotic connection with people, my cup runneth over. So if I may, thank you, Meltdown, and thank you everybody out there that expresses the love for my music. Obviously, Wango Tango, the greatest love song ever. People fall in love. Most of the baby boom, that was me. Anyhow, the point is that I know these stories and I cherish them. And you notice I haven't stumbled on a syllable yet expressing myself because ambiguity is kryptonite to the Nugent swamp. The point is, thank you, everybody. I love you more than you love me. And quite honestly, I know you love my music. I love my music even more.
And there he is, Ted Nugent, joining us here on WRAF. I appreciate it. Of course, you're going to be in Sterling Heights, going to be in Lexington. And you know what? I would rather ride my motorcycle like I did last year to Paw Paw, Michigan, than go to the east side. But Sterling Heights is going to be awesome. But I might join you in Paw Paw, Michigan on July 11th once again.
You were there. I've done so many gigs. I'm so lucky. How lucky can I be? I get on my wounded knees every day and I say, thank you, Lord, for giving this Motown American rhythm and blues rock and roll dream. But come on, you've been to a million concerts. I've done over 7,000. I think we did a bunch of gigs in Texas, the Ted Nugent Shit Kicker Speakeasies. I was on 7,051 or 7,052. Paw Paw, Michigan last year in 2025, it was out of body. The guitar tone, the spirit of the audience, the diversity in the audience, young and old, and every imaginable walk of life, the singing, how about this, talking about a great blend of music celebration. They sang every word to Fred Bear and Stranglehold and Wang Dang Sweet Poon sang. So, I've made a connection that nobody else even knows available. So yes, Paw Paw was magic. Sterling Heights is always magic. When I come back to Michigan, I've got to remind myself to breathe. I am so excited. I get so out of control. Have you noticed I get so out of control? But I use that out of control to play the most dynamic and authoritative, genuinely dedicated guitar music delivery every night. But you were there in Paw Paw. It was unbelievable. It was at a venue. It was at Paw Paw. It wasn't Cal Jam. It wasn't the Texas Music Fair. It was Paw Paw, and it was absolutely unbelievable, which proves that Johnny Big, Jason Hartless, my team, my crew, it doesn't matter when we rehearse in the barn. It's the most important performance of our lives. We want to get it as dynamic and as powerful and as grooving as possible, and we do that every night. So thank you, Jason Hartless from Sterling Heights and Johnny Big from Waco, Texas, and all my band. Has God blessed me with the greatest musicians in the world forever or what? I keep in touch with Tom Noel, my first drummer, 1960 in Detroit, right off of Grand River. Tom Noel was my first drummer in the Lourdes, and he and I keep in touch. So, and Bill White, the first bass player in Michigan for the Amboy Dukes, Bill White and I keep in touch. I keep in touch with all these guys, and it's so motivating to hear the positive celebration of my music everywhere I go. Thank you, everybody.
Now, you brought up Cal Jam and brought up some of these older shows and stuff. So I see you growing the hair back. Is the loincloth next? What's going on with you?
Is that what that? My God, are you telling me I haven't looked in the mirror in a long time? Oh my goodness! Oh,
you have a mirror right next to you. How does that happen?
Because I do media all the time, and I want to be as handsome as possible, and it's quite a chore. But yeah, I just didn't get a haircut this summer. I'm going to keep it until hunting season. So yeah, the hair's growing. Whatever. My middle finger is expanding. Whatever. My guitar tone is just out of this world. In fact, God called me the other day and he said, "Hey, Uncle Ted, I don't remember authorizing that guitar tone. Where did you come up with that guitar tone? I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You can continue to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of gonzo happiness guitar tone, but you might want to check in with me before you hit those sonic outrageous frequencies." Am I on fire? I'm on fire.
You're always on fire.
Apologize, fat chance.
You're always on fire. Hey, speaking of guitar tones, who else has great guitar tones in your mind?
Well, I'm such a hopeless music fan. I mean, I'm a musician, and I put my heart and soul into creating a guitar topographical spiritual adventure on my Gibson Birdland necks and my Les Pauls and my PRSs. So I pursue it as an adventure. And I started in 1955, 1956, when the first prototype Gibson Birdland from Kalamazoo, Michigan, was on the cover of Chuck Berry's record. And I didn't know it at the time because I didn't know anything at the time. What was I, 7 years old or 8 years old? But the point is that guitar tone consumes us. So I always wanted to sound like Chuck Berry and Bo Diddley. And then eventually, I think today, I was playing my Birdlands today. I got these amplifiers. I can't believe I put down my guitar to call you, but here I am. It means you're really special. But so I'd like to think that my pursuit of guitar tone has no identity, because I'm constantly pursuing it with playing around with amps and guitars and pickups. These mad scientists are creating these representations of the early 1950s and 60s Gibson PAF humbucker pickups. Peter Flynn out of Wisconsin, he's in a dungeon, wrapping coils around magnets and coming up with these incredible pickups. So the guitar players in my life, Jared James Nichols, go see him. Wes Jeans from Texas, blues guy. Chris Duarte. Mark Farner. The guy in Detroit, Mark Casa, with a band called Slight Return. But right now, I would say if you could describe, which you really can't, but I'll give it a good shot. My guitar tone is a combination of Chuck Berry, Bo Diddley, Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Billy Gibbons, and Jimi Hendrix meets Leslie West. It's fat, it's rich by playing with the guitar knobs, which you watch. You know, my guitar licks are cool as hell. The best in the world. My guitar licks are cool as hell, but watch my right hand. Good luck with that. Watch my right hand, but I'm working the knobs and I'm working the toggle switch to get different tones in the song Hibernation and Migration. In fact, when we do Good Friends and a Bottle of Wine, I'm working the guitar knobs more than anybody ever has, because I do Migration, Hibernation, Free Flight, Homebound, Earth Tones, Winter, Spring, Summer, Fall, and Sunrise, these instrumentals. Oh, and Scottish Tea from the Amboy Dukes. We weave in all these instrumentals, and they all demand a different voice. And on my Gibson Birdland, through my custom amps and my twins, I can get an unlimited dimension of sonics and tonality and frequencies, and in one song, Good Friends and a Bottle of Wine. What happens in Stranglehold, too, to a great degree? I have over a dozen different voicings during the whole song, the opening riff, the big crescendos, the boleros, and then the solo network. I'm going from the front pickup to the back pickup to the middle pickups to the tones on to the tones off to tens. Somebody's calling me. To the tens on the volume, back down to the 3 and 4s on the volume. So I'm an old man. I know you respect your elders. I'm 78 this year. I'm having more happiness. This is a miracle. I'm having more fun and more musical adventure with Johnny and Jason and my guitars and amps. This is, people don't believe me when I talk in these superlatives, but it's the only expression possible. It's 2026. If the 15-year-old or the 30-year-old or the 20-year-old Ted Nugent showed up, I'd kick his ass because I just got done filling feeders and checking traps and training my dogs. I have a whistle here. I train my dogs and my band. And so when I get done training my dogs and we've talked about this. I get so far removed from the music that I can't wait to come into the man cave Kufa's arsenal of democracy, surrounded by these magnificent animal heads and antlers and horns and spirit and ammo and guns and bows and arrows and guitars and amps. So when I pick up the guitar on this, what is it, the 30th day of June 2026, it's as if it's like the first time. I know that's hard to believe, but it's like the first time every time, because I'm so removed from the music that I can't wait to find these sounds and these patterns. And it's basically, again, going back to Chuck Berry and what the guitar players of today, I'm leaving out some guitar players. Oh, Phil X, who just did the Triumph tour. Now he's out with Bon Jovi. These guitar players nowadays are the best guitar players that have ever lived. And they all inspire me.
Really? I didn't think that you would say that. That's nice of you to say. That's humbling.
But I've always said that. People just don't listen. They go, well, he hates Joan Jett. I said I love her. When I say I love her, they go, well, he's a hater. Except for the part where I said I love her. People are retarded. By the way, all you retarded people, stay on course. You're hysterical. And since Richard Pryor is dead, I need some hysterical laughter. And the idiots in the world who lie about me, I am laughing so hard, you inspire me to celebrate maximum good because you're so bad and ugly. Thank you. Stay on course. Retards, I love you. Well, he hates people, except that I said I love you, you numbnuts.
Hey, what is it like being a roadie for Ted Nugent?
Oh, yeah, you'd have to. That'd be a great interview because I got a bunch of them. And again, there's nothing more, again, everybody relax. I'm bragging. Get used to it. It's not bragging. It's a fact. There's only one guy in the history of the world that played this kind of music through a Gibson Birdland. It's a jazz guitar, but I fixed it. It's a jazz guitar made by the master luthiers in Kalamazoo in the 50s and 60s. It's got a hand-carved North American spruce arch top. It's a hollow body. It has an incredibly low threshold of outrageous, uncontrollable feedback. Uncontrollable, those who can't control. She works with me. So the uniqueness of the Gibson Birdland through a wall of Fender amplifiers is the only example of that in the history of guitar playing. And it has its own each Birdland has its own personality because the spruce breathes, and it has that rich, fat tone that you hear on the beginning of Cat Scratch Fever and Stranglehold, and on my recent records. These songs, they have a certain vitality to the extended tonations that are extremely top-end frizzy and low-end humming. And when you combine them the way I do by hitting it with the meat of my right hand to slightly mute and then completely mute and then to barely mute, there's all kinds of levels of emotional intonations and frequencies that inspire. Like, I turn it up and the guitar starts feeding back, but I can position my body so I can control which notes I do feed back, and it inspires me to play different. When I play the Les Paul and the PRS, I played the PRS exclusively with the damn Yankees, and you can hear that it's still my signature guitar style, but it has a slightly different approach to the song applications because I so revere Tommy Shaw and Jack Blades and Michael Cardelloni. So it just happened to be that when the damn Yankees got together to see if there was going to be a damn Yankees, I had a PRS handy. And when Tommy and I started writing songs, I played the PRS with respect for the ideas that Tommy and I were sharing and coming up together. And it was just spontaneous and organic. But the Gibson Birdland, I saw Jim McCarty with Billy Lee and the Rivieras, who turned into Mitch Ryder at the Walled Lake Casino in 1962, playing a Gibson Birdland through Fender amps. And I went, oh my God, listen to the spread of frequencies and percussiveness and richness to that. So from that day on, 1962, I was going to get a Gibson Birdland, and I did from the Roselle School of Music, Lyle Gilman. His name is Lyle. I got my first one in 1965 for $1,000. I didn't even have 50 cents, but I worked out a deal, and I've been playing the Birdland since. And and any guitar player will tell you, Jared James Nichols grabbed one and jammed with me in Kentucky a couple years ago, and all I saw was teeth and eyeballs because it made him play different. And he's an incredible virtuoso, so that he could command the typically uncontrollable feedback of a Gibson Birdland was a testament to his incredible touch with the guitar. So I know that was a long answer, but I'm really good at long answers because it's really important to me, and I have a lot of things to say about the uniqueness of a Gibson Birdland and the way that she delivers my dream sounds. That's what music is, dream sounds and lyric fortification.
Well, let's switch gears here to the Hall of Fame, and of course not the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But I didn't realize you weren't in the Michigan Outdoor Hall of Fame. How does that happen?
Well, there's a lot of hillbillies out there that were a little bit confused by the Motor City Madman. And I love the hillbillies, some of my friends. So I think the most important thing is that they have meetings, and Richard P. Smith, probably one of the most revered conservation voices and outdoor writers up in the Upper Peninsula, Richard Smith, is the master of all things conservation, wildlife management, wildlife reverence, and resource stewardship, all the important things that bring healthy wildlife and healthy environment. And he has nominated me over the year, and Jimmy Seitz, who has a TV show called Spiritual Outdoors, got a hold of some of them boys at the Outdoor Legends Hall of Fame, and they said, have you ever watched Ted Nugent talk about conservation? He's the best, and I am the best because I take it globally. I don't preach to the choir, even though the choir is paying attention. You saw my testimony at the embarrassing Michigan DNR goons, and I'm the only guy who takes these people on. So being given Conservationist of the Year in Springfield, Missouri on August 8th, and inducted into the Legends of Outdoors Hall of Fame. And on August 7th, outside of Clare, Michigan, I'm being inducted into the Michigan Outdoor Hall of Fame. And I'm very honored. And I'm on behalf of Fred Bear and my dad and real conservation families across this great land, I take it on behalf of their dedication to conservation and wildlife management. I'm very honored.
Yeah, in Clare, Michigan, you got to stop at Cops and Donuts while you're there, right?
I will do that. I won't eat one, but I will stop there.
Hey, somebody was telling me the other day they have family coming in from Wichita, and they said they wanted to do some Michigan stuff. So if you had someone coming into Michigan for the first time or whatever, where would you take them? What's a place Ted Nugent would take somebody from out of the state?
I would say go to Grayling to the Fred Bear statue.
Okay.
Realize what a powerful force he was in real environmentalism, hunting, fishing, trapping, resource stewardship, real conservation, putting wildlife in the asset column, and revering God's miraculous nature that provides us quality of air, soil, and water only based upon wildlife habitat improvement, which is paid for by hunters, fishermen, and trappers. Duh. So Fred Bear is a powerful force. Our conversation started with the song Fred Bear, paying tribute to this great leader of conservation. But I would say up in the Upper Peninsula, go to the Tequamanon Falls, just look at the Mackinac Bridge, maybe go to Mackinac Island. I've never been to Mackinac Island, and I'm the czar of Michigan. I would say go downtown Detroit and witness the history of the greatest music in the world. Stop by Hitsville, USA on West Grand Boulevard. Go to Jay's Sporting Goods in Clare and Fondle Hardware and buy some guns and ammo. Those are the kind of things. Frankenmuth with the great restaurants in Frankenmuth. Go eat Polish food in Bay City. Am I hitting all the hot spots here? Are these the greatest spots? Go to Paw Paw and go to the vineyard and get some Michigan wine. I had a sip. It was delicious. There's so many things. Michigan is my beloved birth state. I think I hit all the hot spots. There's so many, go anywhere in Michigan, stop by a burger spot or a bar. And I've never sat at a bar in my life. Well, one time up in northern Michigan, I sat at a bar and had a burger in between deer hunts. But meet the people. What wonderful. I went to pick Shemaine up at Metro Airport yesterday, and I stopped by the Coney Island place and a little restaurant called Beirut. I was in Beirut, Michigan. What the hell? And the huge black dude, when I walked in, and I don't even look like Ted Nugent anymore. So the huge black dude, this is a tribute to the proudest successes of my life. This huge black dude went, "Hey, you Uncle Ted?" And I said, "Yes, sir," full time. He go, "I love your meeting." He hugged me. He hugged me, giant bear hug. Nicest people in the world. People at the curb at Metro coming up and saying and thanking me. They mentioned Fred Bear. Everywhere we go, the nicest people in the world are Michigan people. They have an attitude, a positive spirit. They're funny. They're cocky. And they're loving. So anytime you spend in Michigan, stop anywhere. And I bet you're going to run into great people, friendly people.
Yeah, it's funny. My son was at the airport yesterday. I was going to ask you, do people recognize you when you start walking through the airport? I mean, you're not a small guy.
Yeah, they do. And it's a real testament because I don't really look like me, do I? Anyhow. But I think I exude a certain spirit. Have you noticed that I exude a certain? But I'm telling you, the love fest, the kindness. They all have great stories, and almost all. It's probably 50-50 between hunting, outdoor stories, and rock and roll music stories. So my dream, I couldn't have told you what my dream was when I was a kid, but I knew what it was, and it was to spend as much time in the woods and in the swamps and the rivers of Michigan and to rock my balls off as often as possible. It's 78 years later. That's exactly what I'm doing. That's how I'm living, by hunting, Ted Nugent Spirit of the Wild TV show for 37 years. Our Sunrise Safaris, we have a packed camp every weekend here in Jackson County at Sunrise Acres. People come out to, the best pork in the world is angry pork. And they come out to kill some angry bacon with Uncle Ted. Can you imagine more fun in the world than a campfire with a squealing pig and an arrow through his pump station with Uncle Ted playing Fred Bear on acoustic guitar? Most people couldn't even handle that. In fact, I'll tell you, keep in touch. You're going to come to Sunrise Acres and witness these great people. If you spent a campfire, and I do it every week, between now and probably Thanksgiving, the nicest, the most, from welders and farmers to plumbing business owners to entrepreneurs of every walk of life, shit kickers, working hard, playing hard, the nicest, most down-to-earth, funny, good people you'll ever meet. You'd think that the world was perfect if you spent a campfire with me and my son Toby and my son Rocco. Shemaine shows up. The dogs are there, Sadie, Jackson, and Coco. So this is where my inspiration comes from. It comes from the people who stop me at a Coney Island and give me a hug and tell me they love my music, or a person at the curb says, hey, we watched your Spirit of the Wild show and my kid wanted to get a bow and arrow, so I got him a bow and arrow. Now he's addicted. All he wants to do is shoot his bow and arrow and kill deer. What a great relationship. Are you kidding me?
Yep.
It's so awesome. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I love you people.
All right, final thing here for you, Ted. Looking back on your vast career, who are some of the best bands and some of the best tours that you had?
Boy, talking about the best, come on. I mean, I've had every greatest band in the world open up for me. I've toured with Kiss and Aerosmith and ZZ Top and Cheap Trick and Journey and Mark Farner. And AC/DC opened, some of the names I can't remember. What's the band, Pyromania? What's that band?
Def Leppard.
Yeah, Def Leppard. I love Def Leppard. Sorry, I don't remember the name. I love pop music. Def Leppard. I've had Bon Jovi open for me at Cobo Hall. I mean, I've had the best bands in the world share a stage, and I always pay attention. The Amboy Dukes played with The Who in 1969 at the Southfield Gymnasium High School. We've played with the best bands in the world. I've had Lemmy and Motorhead open up for me over in Europe. Just the best bands. I'm so lucky. I mean, I could name all. I'll tell you what, you name all your favorite bands, and I've shared the stage with them. Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at the rosters of these different jams where there's been 100,000 people. Sammy Hagar, my God, Van Halen. I've played with everybody. I jammed with John Entwistle and Brian May at the NAMM show. Get up on stage and jam with them. I mean, yikes, how lucky can I be? And I take that to heart because they're all incredibly dedicated, virtuoso, world-class musicians, but they're all really great people. Mm-hmm. They're really fun people to hang out with, so I'm a lucky guy.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ted, Lexington coming up on Tuesday the 8th, Sterling Heights on Friday the 10th, and July 11th, Paw Paw, and I might just have to make a trek back down to Paw Paw, Michigan. I had so much fun there last year.
It really is. And again, once again, thank you. And you see the spirit of the audiences. I have the best audiences in the world. 2026, that I'm having the most guitar music fun of my life. Again, Johnny Big, what a god of thunder, rhythm, and blues. Johnny Big from Waco, Texas, incredible bass virtuoso, incredible vocalist. Jason Hartless, probably the best drummer in the world. We are like a locomotive, and we don't just go off the tracks. We defy the tracks. The band is so tight. We play so tight and so dynamic that when we get on stage, in fact, I think you might have witnessed it where Johnny and Jason and I put our fists together and we push like angry wolves over the last scarred of venison, and we push and we go, James Brown, we're auditioning for James Brown tonight. You got to be perfectly tight because James Brown is So if we can audition, by the way, we get the gig every night because we focus on the tightness, the dynamic, the power, and we exaggerate the dynamics. When it comes down not to one or two, it comes down to zero. and then goes up to 10. So we really are, the music is more fun, more authoritative, and I give it all the credit to my band and my crew. I got the best people, so I'm an inspired young man. Thanks for letting me mouth off on my Detroit radio station and wherever you may take this. But once again, to all those real music lovers out there, I've been doing this for 70 years. I started playing in Detroit 70 years. It's hysterical. I'm a funny man. And in 2026, that I can have more fun and more musical intrigue and adventure. And when I get off stage, I'm spent, but I am so happy because what Johnny and Jason do to my songs every night is every musician's dream. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for letting me mouth off. I appreciate it because you and I are real music lovers.
That's right, man. Have a great Independence Day, 250th birthday.
Yeah, every day is Independence Day. Every day is Thanksgiving. Every day is Veterans Day. Every day is Memorial Day. And every day is Father's Day. And every day is Rock and Roll Day. Write that down.
Up next is the guy that's going to be opening up some of the shows for Ted coming up on this run here in Michigan, except for the Paw Paw show for some reason. I'm not sure what the deal is with that, but I will see Kurt at Sturgis as well when I'll be out there the second week of August. But always cool to talk with Kurt. He's got a lot of good things going on, and he's a good dude as well. His new record is out. We talk about that. We talk about some of the horror movies he's involved in as well, and more with Kurt Deimer.
Hey, what's up, man? How are you, Malto?
I'm doing all right. Just hanging out here in the Motor City trying to beat the heat. And speaking of that, you're going to be doing some shows here with the Motor City Madman. Have you ever played a show at TED before?
Never.
Oh, my God.
I hear it's going to be quite a good time. So.
Well, it's quite an experience. Ted's 77 going on 27. So just bring your energy level up about 10 notches because that's how he operates.
No, I always bring it on stage, man. I can't wait.
Yeah,
I
no
can't
doubt.
wait to be back in the Detroit area, you know.
Yeah. So you're going to be playing out there with Ted coming up. Unfortunately, you're not playing the Paw Paw gig, are you?
No, I don't know why.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we're doing 9 of them. I'm not sure why we're not doing the Paw Paw gig, but I mean, the 9 that we get to do, it's awesome. So
yeah, no doubt about it. So, well, the A Grog is Born is out right now. Tell us about that.
It's doing great, man. A Grog is Born came out, and I think it was maybe beginning of May, and CDs and vinyl I hope to have at least by the time we head out with Ted. And it's doing really well everywhere on all the streaming platforms, and our single now on radio is Silent Lucidity, which is a cover I did with Jeff Tate of the original Silent Lucidity, written by Chris DeGarmo, and we kind of put our own take on it. We're bringing attention to suicide awareness, and it's really organically been growing all over the place, especially on YouTube. And In Deep, the single off the album that was released first that I did with Josh Todd from Buck Cherry, it spent 5 months in the top 40 on the mainstream rock radio, so that was quite an accomplishment, and I'm very proud of, and we're growing, man. It kind of introduces a new Kurt Deimer to the world. I'm singing on everything, and showing how I'm growing as an artist, so I want everybody to check it out, man. It's a really badass album, so.
Yeah, the record is out, like you said, and that cover with Jeff Tate, we've talked about that a little bit before, but tell everybody, it's like, what is it like to perform a song like that? I mean, with Jeff Tate, I mean, that guy, he's at another level, isn't he?
Oh, he is. He's got such a beautiful voice, and one of the best in rock, and very serious, but also very humble and kind, and he's kind of, you know, we did that song Burn together off of my first album, Man, So It Begins. And I think it was even on the EP Work Hard, Rock Hard. And just the way our voices blend with mine being deep, you know, more baritone, and his just the range he has. We just really enjoy both those songs we did together. We enjoy blending our voices. And on Silent Lucidity, Jeff even said, you know, you've grown so much as an artist now, and you can tell you've been touring a lot, and your vocals and your vocal strength is growing, and it was he's just kind of mentored me since we first went on tour with him in the end of 2021. So I can't thank him and his wife Susan enough for what they've done for me in this short period of time. But it's quite to be in the studio with them, bringing this new version of the song he made so epic along with Chris in Queensryche back in the early 90s and on MTV in front of the orchestra. And now I'm blessed enough to have him recreating our new vision of the song for this century and this new audience was a real honor and blessing to have happen. So.
That's awesome, man. So you got these shows coming up here with Ted Nugent, of course. I'm sure you'll be meeting and greeting with the fans afterwards and whatnot. And then what else is happening for 2026 as far as you're concerned?
Yeah, well, I always after all my sets, I always go out even after Ted's set, and I'll always meet with the fans. Just so come by and see me at the merch booth. We'll do pictures, whatever. Everybody. We've got our shows with Ted, July 17th. We're taking one night in the middle of the Ted tour, and we're having an evening with Hailstorm and special guest Kurt Deimer out at the Astro Amphitheater in Omaha. So we're stoked about that. That's going to be a great night, and we might even be recording that as a live album. And then we've got a couple little headline shows in between, and then we're playing Sturgis in August, 2 nights at not on the big, one of the full throttle stages.
All right, well, I guess I'll see you there because I'm going to be there.
Oh, you're going to be there? Cool, man.
Yeah, I'm going to be there.
We're the 9th of the 10th. So we're doing a 2.5 hour headline set 2 nights in a row.
Well, don't threaten me with a good time, so I guess I'll see you there.
Well, we got Jesse got us set up with our own spot for our bus, so we'll be camping. You'll just have to come over and hang out, man.
Yeah, for sure I will.
We'll be doing that, and then I got to head back to Kentucky, and I'm shooting George Romero, who created the Night of the Living Dead and all the zombie movies. He had passed away, I think, in 17 or 18, and he had written a final to his series of all the zombie movies, the original creator. So I'm going to be I'm starring in that movie, and I've got to go shoot that then after Sturgis for the rest of August. And then we'll be touring again all of September, October. Then I'm shooting another movie in November. So it's a busy year. Yeah,
no doubt. I was going to bring up the movies, but that's really cool that you're doing that George Romero thing. Of course, for people that don't know, you've got a movie out, Scared to Death, Hellbilly Hollow, which I really enjoyed. I love that. Scared to Death, I thought was a little bit more, campy, and I did like that one. Of course, with Lynn Shay and Bill Moseley. A lot of people recognize those names right there. But that's pretty cool, man. So you got some stuff in the works then for 2026 as far as acting in movies and whatnot.
Yeah, Scared to Death's out on Amazon Prime now for everybody who wants to check it out. It's, I play a pretty interesting character that I could take many ways called the Grog, where I'm a horror icon. And I get to star alongside Lynn and Bill, which was awesome. But yeah, Hellbilly Hollow I cannot wait for it to come out. It's going to come out in September to select theaters. I'm sure it'll be in some theaters around Detroit on September 25th. And that's a horror duo where I just play a crazy psychotic guy, and my brother Tickles, and we're a horror duo, and people will really trip out on that one, and I can't wait. And then I've got a couple more after that. I play the next big killer, the Rancher, the masked character, and Andy Gould's Pandemic Sex Party, and I'll be like a Michael Myers or Jason, and can't wait for that. And a drama called Relapse, where we're bringing attention to fentanyl and all the bad drugs being put around the world, and overdosing, and all the problems that drugs have created in our society. So, yeah, I can't wait for that either. And I'm filming another one in November called The Prostitute, where I play a man and a woman. So it's going to be a trip. But
whoa. Say that last part again.
Well, it's called The Prostitute, and I play a schizophrenic, but then my mother was a Russian prostitute, and my mother, and you'll be seeing me in some high heels.
All right, well, I want to go see the movie. Maybe you should have left that part out.
Yeah. No, it'll be obvious in the movie. I'm just not going to tell you what it's all about. But, yeah, it's going to be a trip.
I got you. All right, man. Well, your phone's cutting out a little bit here, but we'll make sure to give this a good plug for you. Kurt, always great to catch up with you. Scared to Death, like I said, out on Amazon. Of course, the album is out as well. Like you mentioned, some songs with Josh Todd and Jeff Tate and what have you. And I won't see you at the shows with Ted. I'm going to be at the Paw Paw one, I think. But I want you to have a great time. And yeah, get ready, because you've never met anybody like Uncle Ted.
No, I can't wait, man. I'm sorry. Is the phone cutting out still?
Yeah, you're good right now. Yeah, you're good.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
No, man, I appreciate you having me on, Meltdown. I'm sorry I won't get to see you, but I guess I'll get to see you up in Sturgis.
Yes, in Sturgis. Yeah, that's good news. I'm glad to hear that. It's going to be my first time in Sturgis, so I'm really looking forward to getting out there and maybe pounding some miles and checking out the sights and the sounds and doing my show live out there. So we'll have to get you on or something, okay?
No, that'll be awesome, man. And we'll definitely chat. Just hit me up and we'll hang out for sure.
Kurt Deimer and Ted Nugent, another non-award-winning installment of the Talkin Rock with Meltdown podcast. I thank you guys so much for listening. I actually have a couple interviews that are done right now, and I'm not sure if I'm going to put them out before this weekend, which this weekend is the Independence Day 4th of July weekend, or if I'm going to do it after I get back from vacation, which is July 13th. But I will tell you this. I did talk with Jimmy Bones from Kid Rock's band, the Twisted Brown Trucker Band. He told some awesome stories. And as a matter of fact, I talked to him for a half hour, and I'm like, dude, you have to come back, because we didn't even crack the surface of some of the great stories he told. We only got up to Devil Without a Cause. I mean, we're just starting Kid Rock's career with Twisted Brown Trucker, and they're just starting to break big. And he's got a lot more stories to tell. Told a great Robin Williams story. Anyways, we'll get to that coming up after I get back from vacation, like I said, after July 13th. Hey, thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening to Talkin Rock with Meltdown. You can help this podcast grow by giving it a 5-star rating and writing a review on Apple and iTunes. Plus, feel free to subscribe and share it with your friends. Until next time, thanks for listening to Talkin Rock.